Good morning, everybody. The United States, the Biden regime there, has supplied ATACMS missiles to Ukraine. This is another dangerous escalation in the Ukraine conflict. And while everybody's looking elsewhere, looking at the conflict that started in the Middle East, it would have been a great opportunity and a wise moment for everybody to wind down what is happening in Ukraine, draw it to a close, end the conflict, and start to get back to normal relations between the West, the collective West, and Russia. But the opposite is happening with the crazies in the Western governments, particularly in the United States at the moment. So they escalated this conflict for a year and a half, first by providing javelins, then HIMARS, then Patriots, then what was next? The Challenger and Leopard tanks, and then Storm Shadow weapons, and now ATACMS. Now, ATACMS stands, I think, for Advanced Tactical Missile Systems. They are surface-to-surface missiles that have a range of about 100 miles or 165 kilometers, and they are cluster bombs. So they can be fired from the ground, go 100 miles, then they split into cluster bombs, and they sort of carpet bomb whatever the target is. And this is, as I said, something that the West should not be doing at all, specifically not at this moment. But Ukraine has received them, the Zelensky regime has received them, and they've started to use them straight away. And a couple of days ago, they bombed a Russian airfield, a military a base on the Black Sea coast, deep in what you can either call Novorossiya or occupied Ukraine, depending on what side of the fence you are. I'm just on the side of peace and de-escalation. But obviously, Russian soldiers and airmen were killed, and they destroyed that ATACMS missile attack, destroyed apparently 9 Russian helicopters. They also fired some not to the south, but to the east, into Luhansk Oblast as well, apparently. So another escalation when we need to be de-escalating. We need to stop this conflict, get everybody around the table. There's no point in continuing this. The lines are drawn almost, they're almost immovable at the moment. The Russians are dug in, the Ukrainians are dug in, but they're losing men like anything. Estimates between 300 and 500,000 Ukrainian soldiers have died, like pretty much all of their regular army, and now they are recruiting, very naive young men to be, to be soldiers and go and fight in the front line, even though they've never done any fighting before, and they don't last very long there. It's a terrible, terrible situation that needs to be brought to an end and brought to a close. So this is just the worst possible decision from the warmongers in the collective Western governments to do this. And I would call on everybody to stop de-escalating, bring this conflict to a close, and save lives.